In today's video, we will talk about classifying the defendant's prior record. Detailed information for this factor can be found in the General Instructions section on page 23. When classifying the defendant's prior record, guidelines users must refer to Section C. In the right-hand corner, under the primary offense factor, users should classify the defendant according to their prior record. It is important for guidelines users to appropriately classify the defendant in order to assign the appropriate number of points for this factor. So we're going to take a moment to talk about what the prior record classification is, when it is important, and how it is determined. When classifying the defendant's prior record, users must scan the defendant's entire criminal history and identify any prior felonies that are defined as violent under Code Section 17.1-805. This factor only pertains to violent felonies in which the defendant has been convicted of, accepted a plea agreement, or entered into a guilty plea prior to the date of sentencing. We'll take a minute to go over the definitions for each category. The first category, other, consists of a defendant who has prior record that is not violent. The defendant may have misdemeanors or other felonies in their prior record. However, as long as they are not defined under 17.1-805, the defendant is classified as an other. The second category, category 2, consists of a defendant having prior record of violent offenses with a statutory maximum less than 40 years. And category 1 is defined as the defendant having a violent prior record with any offense having a statutory maximum of more than 40 years. The definitions for category 1 and category 2 are important, especially when defendants have an attempted or conspired offense in their prior record. Attempted and conspired offenses will often change the penalty structure for offenses and also will change the classification. Any category 1 offense that is an attempt or conspired offense will drop down to a category 2. The only exception would be attempted capital murder offenses, which will retain category 1 status. So now we're going to talk about 3 resources to use to help classify the defendant's prior record. The first resource is Code Section 17.1-805. A copy of this code section can be found in the Guidelines Manual in the Instructions section on page 8. Second resource is also located in the Guidelines Manual, Appendix A. This is an alphabetical listing of all Category 1, Category 2 offenses. And the last resource is the Supplemental Vcc Book. This book contains detailed descriptive information about the particular offense, VCC code statute, as well as the penalty. There are Roman numeral 1 and 2 in parentheses next to the penalty, which serves as an easy way to identify Category 1 or Category 2 offense. So, in summary, prior record classification pertains to any violent felony convictions prior to the date of sentencing. This factor is scored on Section C of all guidelines worksheets. There are 3 resources to identify prior record: 17.1-805, Appendix E, or the White Supplemental Vcc Book. And conspired and attempted Category 1 offenses are scored as Category 2. So now, take a moment to look at this defendant's prior record and classify the defendant. The defendant has a robbery in Virginia Beach, an attempted burglary in Hampton, and possession of cocaine in Norfolk. Is the defendant a Category 1, Category 2, or Category Other? For the answer, text VCSC classify to 56512. Thank you for tuning into this video. As always, if you have any questions, contact any member at the Sentencing Commission via text, on the hotline, or by email.